you're dropping like 500 points at like higher level RTA. Or
Well,
like
keep
3 or 500 ranks, I should say.
everyone should keep in mind though that you don't have the knowledge or the money. So
Wait.
No.
Oh,
Dude, that comment in chat,
true.
Nella Lumina says you are a Mort player, Cannaaa. Of course you don't climb.
Oh my god.
actually, of the preseason, Kenny was spamming Mort to try and get as low as possible in bronze, and I saw a few wins there.
Oh no. Dude, imagine this. You def break a whole. Oh, my lights turned off. But
Whoa. What's up, everyone? Welcome to podcast number 25. Today, I have with me 3 people you probably have never seen on my podcast before, but we do have Valkyria, Jenazadp, and Cannaaa. And all 3 of these guys are streamers, content creators on Twitch, YouTube, or I don't know if any of you guys have YouTube actually, Twitch mainly. And yeah, so I'll let them introduce themselves first, and then we'll start with Valk, then we'll go Jenazadp, and then Cannaaa.
Hey guys, my name is Valkyria. I am usually a PNG tuber, but being on a podcast, like I'll be on cam. And then I guess my playstyle is like I play really slow and really safe, and I play really brain dead because usually when I play, I like to talk with chat. So, that's usually how I play and who I am.
Hey, I'm Jenazadp. My camera isn't working for some reason, but normally I have my face on my stream. I'm the E7 just chatting streamer, and I basically stream all day, every day, like 11 hours a day for some reason because I'm a psychopath. But yeah, come hang out sometime.
hi guys, I am Cannaaa or Connor. I am the resident no brain, fast, speaks to chat cleave player who has no speed and tries to make Mort as an opener work. I don't think I'm in the same realm of PvP as the rest of the people in this room, but I've made it here somehow by scuffing and stealing content and built from other people. But yeah, here I am.
He's stealing content right now.
What the?
Yeah.
Dude, stealing and giving? Pog. And if you guys don't know already, I'm XKiking, and thank you to our guests for joining today. So, as always, chill podcast, whatever you guys want to talk about, whatnot, regarding the topics first, and then if time permits, we'll have open chat. So, first topic, new exclusive equipment thoughts. We'll just
Oh boy.
start off with this. There is one thing to note. We'll talk about this first, which is Angelica. Valk did find something where I'll link this in chat for you guys.
Yeah, credits to Too Fat because he was asking me about it, and then he linked it to me.
And,
I heard that they changed the text.
Yeah, so okay, so the actual exclusive equipment itself. The skill 3 says dispels 1 debuff from all allies before using Guide of the Goddess. And then yeah, so unfortunately for what is on stream, I guess it's going to be different from what's in the patch notes for the people who don't know that already. Which is a little unfortunate, I suppose. Cuz
yeah.
I
was gonna say, so if the cleanse came in before the effects, right? Like the translation actually supposed to say, if it does what the text says, right? She's actually a really good intro to like playing a turn 2 style for a lot of newer players.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want to make her that accessible.
Well, the thing is, she's already a popular Wyvern tank, right? But then she would be kind of usable in maybe Arena early on, but for some reason they didn't want that?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's like it's kind of weird. I guess like when I initially saw that on stream, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good for people now." You can kind of cleanse first and then, you hit your S3 through. So, it's like a contender, another 4-star contender that people can use in more situations, like Acades and stuff like that. But
yeah, even then, right? I think Acades might be better in that slot, right? Specifically just because Acades has she has more overall healing through the cycle.
Yeah,
she has a lower cooldown full cleanse, and then she generates more souls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, because she would be like a 1-for-1 with Acades, right? And even in high-end RTA, Acades is not used a lot because she is a non-attacking, like she is a non-threat into one of the team slots, right? And usually with these types of heroes, like if you look at other heroes that are premium in the slot, like Maid and DN, they usually have attack buff. And without attack buff, I feel like they're only really good for very specific scenarios. And then even in Angelica's case, it's what, one debuff from all allies. It might be good for new players, but in this case, it's really iffy.
Fair.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that matters about the EEs, right, is, or for this EE is the speed, right?
So I was gonna say, like, is the speed supposed to be like, since it's speed, right? I'd imagine, like, in a sense, you kind of like maybe want to make her not like, what is her base speed, like 98? So now she's like
It's like
108.
89 or something.
Yeah, it's like something super slow.
She's slow,
But the
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is, like,
Yeah.
do you? I mean, like, I was trying to think, like, imagine if you just like were using her only as a wyvern tank, and obviously, like, I don't think Smilegate only wants like any unit for like one specific like instance. Even if like it's a PVE unit, you're usually for like multiple pieces of PVE content.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you can't really
My
use the
camera's
speed in
working now, by the
wyvern,
way.
right?
Ooh,
Oh wait, no more
nice.
Patrick Star.
Oh, pause.
Right.
Gotta move everyone again.
Sorry
Wait,
about that.
Okay, looks kind of clean.
Gotta
No, I don't. I look like a homeless person, dude.
move Jenazadp back there, and then gotta go Valk again.
Sorry about that.
No, just yeah, no worries. Just tell your webcam, look at your webcam, and tell it, don't die again mid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you? I don't know. Like, what do you guys feel like the speed is? Like, is it actually supposed to? Was the intent of giving her speed supposed to, like, I guess, encourage her as a cleanser? Because like,
I mean,
it's
I think
obviously not meant for wyvern, right? Like
I
10
think if
speed
anything, the
unless
speed just
you're.
makes her a little bit easier for people to use.
Yeah. Newer players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, newer players are gonna have like the free health set on her, dude. So she's gonna be at like 100 base speed or something, you know? So they need
Yeah.
like all they can get, I feel. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of EEs are supposed to just mitigate like big weaknesses and like very glaring weaknesses in certain characters, right?
Yeah.
I think part of like what people were expecting when Shadow Rose EE came out was like she needed speed because as a contester, she's like what base speed 106. It's like not enough.
She needs a
Mhm.
strip.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
You know, a strip on her S3.
Yeah, let's just, well, might as well make
Yeah.
a OP unit, right? All right, dude.
Well, I mean, come on, her base speed's like 102, dude. I think it's fair. You know?
4-star, cleanses, strips. Okay.
Wait, it cleanses? Okay, maybe not.
Backtrack.
Well, with the EE, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, aside from Angelica, though, right? Like, okay, wait, question. So we know one person uses Mort. Does
In the game.
does any of you guys use Charlotte? I'm just wondering.
I built her, right? And I was
Okay.
using her, or trying to use her, and I was very disappointed, but I think that was my build, so I was intending to rebuild her. I was actually talking about it yesterday, and then they showed the E off, and I was like, hey, wow, would you look at that, right? They
Okay.
gave her, so now she has Ravi's passive, right? Because
Mhm.
she increases her bar, and she gets pushed up. So it's literally just, she's Ravi number 2 now. And I feel like Charlotte's actually kind of a decent character, but maybe she sucks in this meta. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't think she like. So I'm guessing in this case, right? You'd be using the passive, right, compared to the other two, like.
I think well, the S3 one has some potential, right? But I feel like the S2 one is way more applicable, especially with the amount of like AoE and other stuff.
Yeah, and that's fair. And she also gets the buffs, right? So when she has a chance of being like tanky already, like sorry, she's already very tanky in most situations. So with that, she'll get her turn sooner, be able to kill the enemies, which is that's fair. So one thing is, I feel like with that being said, it'll probably make her like, as you said, very similar to like Ravi version 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
She's Ravi with reach, kind of.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a AoE, I guess a more consistent AoE reach for like, let's say like something like Spectre.
And yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just saying the one downside with that is like right now I feel like aside from obviously Carrot being super oppressive, I feel like Ravi has already kind of seen a decreased amount of usage.
Yeah.
Right.
I would agree
Right.
with that.
One thing that's kind of nice about Charlotte, I will definitely say, is if you're going kind of for a all or nothing sort of playstyle, you could put Senya's artifact if you want more damage or something, but you can also use Holy Sacrifice. So you can have kind of a squishier Charlotte full damage just to try and nuke somebody potentially.
Yeah, I have her
Okay.
like right, because I don't use her, but I think the two default artifacts are JFA and Holy Sac. And
Yeah.
if you go more damage, like you don't rely on JFA to fish for like extra value. I think it's definitely like Holy Sac is going to be really strong, right?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
You guys didn't think she was bad before it, did you? Like, I thought that
No.
she was
I didn't
not
even think
like.
she needed one, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I didn't- she
really
needed it.
surprised when I heard that she got this. Like, I mean, some of the other characters, I guess, like on the list of EEs, were like, I'm not like super outraged. I mean, I'm definitely not surprised that Mort got one, even though we'll get to it later about how it is. But like, I can even see Angelica, but Charlotte kind of, this one kind of seemed. I hope it's not like the equivalent to like when Cerise got a buff, because like I remember when Cerise first got buffed, everyone's like, well, she wasn't like the worst character in the game. And I mean, like, this is I feel like when I first heard it, it was similar, where I didn't really like, I didn't think to myself, oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't get a Charlotte buff like tomorrow, like pronto, you know? Like,
Well, I think the difference is I don't think Charlotte is nearly as oppressive, as something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
she
yeah.
has pretty clear defined weaknesses. So I feel like it's not going to be that kind of situation, right? That's a
Yeah.
bit of an outlier. So
I didn't mean so much that she would be like
Yeah.
crazy as Cerise, but it was just like on the list, like she's not like at the top, like for who I would have picked. At least for me.
yeah, Mort's number one for you, and look where that happened.
Oh yeah, man. Oh man, maybe I should put him lower. Goddamn.
Well, speaking of more, okay, thoughts on his exclusives.
I think it's really adorable that so many people were constantly whining about giving him an EE and not. And people would say buff, right? But there were so many people that would say give him an EE, and they, for some reason, imagined that that would actually fix him. When he needs a real big buff, rather than just that EE better have been like his S3 does double damage and extincts or something, because he needs a lot more than that.
I feel like he has probably the least exciting out of the three, at first impression, especially since I thought Angelica's was going to be really good, right? But I think some of them might be all right, because I don't know. I've not played around enough with injury to know if the S3 one is going to be good. But at least, like, from the get-go, it seems like the S2's okay.
I think Jenna's camera just broke again. I think we were stuck with what face Jenna for a little bit, and now he's back to Patrick.
Back to Patrick.
But
Yep. Yeah. Don't worry, I won't try again.
but his did you like? Yeah, you guys. I think everyone kind of agreed that like these are not like. I didn't wake up and like look at these and I was like, wow, man, these are like increased 10%. It's just like a bunch of percentage increases, and then I guess like the turn duration, like you would think that like maybe a turn duration increase on something would be pretty good, but honestly, like I don't know about you guys, my Mort S2 doesn't even proc. So increasing one turn off is something that's not going to proc, and especially since it's not even like a guaranteed death buff or something, it's literally the chance to not crit. Like, I mean, I guess I'll take the HP from like, the 14% HP is like more than welcome, but they did my boy more dirty. This is not.
Yeah.
This is
I
not.
thought it was so
my-
doomed because this would probably cap out like where his power level would be. But
Mhm.
I talked to Hala about it, right? Because she really likes more, and it's actually not too bad because they did when they buffed certain heroes, they do change EEs as well, like for Fire Cecilia.
Yeah, that was the same for Lilibet also. So if he gets buffed, maybe they'll include part of his exclusive into his kit and just change his exclusive and give him something else. We'll have to see. I mean, we're probably due for a balance patch eventually, like in a
Eventually.
Eventually.
sorry.
Hopefully.
Well,
Has it? Felt like it's been a while, right?
not really, right?
No?
Maid
What am I
and
thinking?
Carrot just came out like
4 weeks, about 3 to 4 weeks by my count, I think.
Oh, dude.
yeah,
Maybe Carrot made me feel like freaking time passed by way too quickly.
yeah. It
Holy.
really, I don't know, man. Because you
Yeah.
play so many matches because they end on like she gets her first turn and you're like, okay,
Well, I guess in that case we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that. Yeah, I definitely, at least to me, like I tried Morta a bit when he initially came out, and his exclusive didn't look like, at least to me, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't feel like it's going to make a particularly big impact on him, you know?
no.
So
Well, one of the biggest issues with Mort is what Connor was saying is like his S2 never procs. He's just a slot machine, right? So you run Elbrus on him. His S1 has a chance to defense break. His S2 has a chance to sometimes give you until this EE, a 1-turn buff that sometimes works.
Yeah.
So he's just this casino character that does absolutely nothing so much of the time, and you need all this luck for him to actually do anything. And
yeah,
he's basically, like Senya has a lot of that slot machine stuff, right? But she's still way more consistent and useful than him.
Yeah, even when it rolls his way, you're not getting that much value out of it. When Senya rolls stuff her way, it goes massive in value. There's actually a very like stark difference in the amount of value they could potentially provide for any team.
yeah, that's kind of fair. So I guess
think
out
if
of
there's
all
a-
these, I feel like Charlotte is probably the best.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say no question there. And I think I don't know if we're gonna start seeing more Charlottes or something, but she definitely has a lot more. That little boost can sometimes be a big deal, right? Every
Yeah,
time
definitely.
a character gets a slight boost, maybe that's all they really needed to actually become usable in a lot more situations.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. All right.
Oh yeah, Joy is losing his mind, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that one person who
Yeah.
loves, that one person who loves Charlotte, dude, he's probably like, hell yeah, every game, you know.
Dude, he's
more so.
cooming. He's going crazy probably right now
Yeah.
over that.
All right. Well, moving on with exclusives, we'll see how it impacts as time goes. Thoughts on llynav? Now that she's been out for a while, what are your thoughts about her now in PvP and PvE?
She's too fair.
Okay.
She's too fair.
She's looking a lot like Mort right now.
Don't you dare disrespect llynav like that, dude.
You
Okay,
cannot
I mean-
release a character that is this fair in Kara meta. You know what I mean? Like, she's not gonna do enough.
Well, it's just
Mhm.
like they make a character that they're like, okay, we have this sick character that's good against a bunch of lower damage aggression, and she's doing all these counterattacks, and they're like, oh, they just draft Carrot, Landy, and a bunch of like rush down team, and she doesn't do anything. Wow, sick.
Mhm.
So
I think it might be. I mean, Jenna, I haven't actually seen how much or like what exactly you've been
Mhm.
running in RTA, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, at least for me, like I play. I mean, obviously, like I play Cleave, and like llynav, like just not exist against Cleave. Like that, she's dead
oh yeah.
by
No,
like
even when I go
1.5
bruiser,
turns.
she doesn't exist, dude. Because
Yeah.
think about every big meta like unit being played in some sort of bruiser thing, or just like in general when you're not cleaving. You're gonna see like
Mhm.
what Arby, Spectre, Tenebria, Landy, Carrot. She sucks against all of them.
Mhm.
And the current meta is super high aggro, Basard, General Purgus, Rushdown, and so she just dies. So she basically has no place against a single possible team in the entire game right now.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, mine is plus
Now-
15, but
Unfortunately, no, you're prepping, dude. You're prepping for the buff, man.
dude,
You're prepared.
Not even prep, dude. This is called, for the waifu. Anyways, yeah, like I don't know. I was using her in bruiser teams. I was also using her in my cleaving team, so that she would go first. And
saw
then
one of those.
Oh my god.
it was interesting. Did not really work out, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, I swapped her back to Bruiser, using her on Bruiser teams. Sometimes she's okay, but like it is really hard to use her just because of the current meta, unfortunately. She doesn't bring enough to the table for the team itself. Just the crit damage buff is not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
For that. So she's like in a bit of a spot where she doesn't bring enough for the team, and she herself as a unit individually doesn't make a huge impact when she's on the field. So like a lot of times if you look at it, like unless I'm using her for fun or whatnot, I can't justify using her over some other stronger units that, you know, you probably have in your roster. And especially with the Charlotte exclusive, I think Charlotte is someone who you could probably honestly pick over her like in a general sense.
Yeah.
Or, well,
so
Carrot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something a lot of people definitely don't think of, or like, I just want to bring this up real quick, is that, you know, they developed these characters a while back, right? Like they probably were working at llynav for like at least a month and a half or something, let's say, right? So month
probably
and a
way
half,
longer.
Carrot, yeah, let's just pretend, okay, or longer. So the
Yeah.
meta before Carrot and May Chloe was a lot slower, more golden boy, right? And a lot
Mhm.
more tanks and stuff like that, where she actually could be used. And a lot of people just see her come out and they're like, she's dead on arrival. Like, what were they thinking? They're complete idiots. And it's like, they definitely misread kind of like when to release this character. But I feel like the issue is more the meta shift than the character itself. I mean, maybe she's horrible. Who knows? But she doesn't even get a chance to be played because of that meta shift. And maybe she would have actually been okay. Same with Mort, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
he
Same
came
deal.
out after his time when he would have been useful. I mean, okay, maybe he never would have been useful. Maybe he always would have been bad, but like let's be real. But he didn't even get a chance because they released him like way too late. And it's like, what are you guys doing? You had to release him like a month or two ago.
I mean, I do find that kind of fair. Like they are just developing the unit, right? We did see that llynav as kind of like a, like we had an inkling that she would be a character a long while ago, right? So it's actually a fair assessment that, granted, I suppose partly filler units, but at the same time, they are using these they are developing these characters a while back, and they would fit in certain metas. Just when they release them, timing wise, probably not the best. Sometimes, I do agree with that part. Do you feel like she has any use in PvE?
No, injury doesn't
Not
even like
exactly
work
right.
in
Yeah,
PvE.
injury doesn't work on
And
a-
but that's not the only thing though, right? But also
Uh,
just like, do you really need crit damage buff? She only gives herself immunity. I mean, like, what's she really gonna do in PvE, right?
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, I feel like that when every time they've made characters recently, the character's either great in PvP or PvE or trash, right? But not good in like both,
Both.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Recently,
they're
I
kind
feel
of
like
done making like high power level all around characters, I think.
They're trying to definitely avoid that because in the past, back then there was really big issues where a character was just overall very strong in
Vector
any sort of
Tenebria.
situation. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they're definitely trying to stray away and like avoid that nowadays. So which is why a lot of characters are coming out as like a
trash.
well, weaker like a much like toned down version of what characters would normally be nowadays.
Yeah, they're also very like specialized, right? You see heroes like Politis, where it's like they're designed to basically do one thing.
Okay, wait, let's be real. She gets drafted. If you have a non-attack skill, she's getting drafted right now. Specialized is in like specialized against 70% of the game's characters right now, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, man.
yeah. She was supposed to be the chosen one to stop Cleave, but now I think like she's being
Politest
used
abuser.
in
Raise your
Cleave.
hand if you're a politest abuser as a cleaver. You need her, dude.
Oh,
I'm just
God.
saying.
I haven't
If
done
you can't
it
beat 'em,
yet,
join
dude.
'em.
No, that's
If
for
you
losers,
can't-
dude. That's like, you admit the moment you pick her, you admit that you can't cleave and that you have to cheat.
Wait.
you know?
Wait. When she first came out, the first thing I did was use her as a cleaver.
You did.
What,
I saw you do that. That
Bro,
was
what do
true,
you
and
mean?
it wasn't working. You know what's funny though? It wasn't working. What happened, huh? She's broken.
It was okay, all right? It was okay. And now paired her with Flan. Yeah, you take away what counters Flan on your own team, bruh.
Yeah, get him.
But yeah, it's okay. That's fair. We'll have to.
You know, oh, sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, what do you think? So I've talked about this a bunch on my stream, but what do you think of Politis? Like, what of like her skill design, I suppose.
I feel like it's okay, to be honest. It's not that bad. Like, to be honest, like as much as I dislike the unit, as she is someone that can counter like a certain playstyle, I don't find her that horrible of a unit. Like, she has her uses, right? She has her usages. She's not like non-existent, but she's also not a unit that you'll see every single game kind of thing. I feel like she's in a pretty good spot with the way they designed her and have her right now.
Do you feel like, so we just talked about how like a lot of the characters that they've been releasing, or like a few of the characters they've released are like specialized, right? Like Politis but like, do you guys feel like Politis is like, I don't know, maybe she just set like the standard so high, but like, dude, I'm just saying, like, not that they're necessarily similar or like the same. Well, they're similar, of course, but like Celine, right? She like same sort of like concept where if you use a non-attack skill, like you're getting slapped or clapped by this unit. But it feels like Politis like is a much safer like counter. And even I don't know,
Yeah.
like when I thought about like Dilibit like countering like control units, like you know how like and like on the topic of like countering units, like
Yeah.
Dilibit I feel like is Dilibit to control is not what Politis is to Cleaver, in my opinion.
I think those are a little bit
like-
more situational because like
Mhm.
so Dilibit to control, I feel like it is very strong in a situation where the enemy goes first before you, right? Like in a typical situation, as long as they slam heavy debuffs on you, then you get that. But the only difference between Dilibit is that she does have like a bit more of a requirement, right? It's not just like, oh, if someone debuffs, you know, you can instant cleanse, right? You have a certain amount. But like in the same regard, if we look at like ML Haste, right? He's also a specialized unit to counter revives. Technically made for that, or well, Arbiter Vildred revive, any sort of thing like that, right? But he's also a very prominent unit we see. Granted, the reason why is probably because his counters are very prominent. Like they're like
he's got stronger actually.
When it works, it really works, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about Designer is that her passive can't be outplayed.
Yeah,
and it can be outplayed like kind of easily too. I think is the
her
issue.
passive is more like compared to like Politis and like ML Haste or something, it has a few more requirements in there. It's not just like, oh, if they debuff, something happens. It's if they debuff and they hit this requirement on the character, then she'll do this, right? So that's why I think it makes her a little bit weaker in that sense compared to whatnot. Like Celine, though, I think is probably a good example. Is like the difference with Celine is that
she's bad.
I don't think she's bad. It's just her situation
really?
is a little bit more niche, I suppose. Like,
yeah,
you can still use her against a lot of non-attack characters, right? People, I run her specifically sometimes into Elena teams if they have like a damage dealer that I want to nuke, force her to ban or whatnot. The difference, I guess, is Politis gets her turn earlier. So unless you're investing a lot into Celine, you're making her go early, and stuff like that, and not full damage, which makes it a little bit harder for her to kill someone. That's probably why you don't see Celine nearly as much.
Well,
in that situation,
I think it's not just that. It's also just how much Politis is able to do compared to what Celine does. So Celine, the best outcome is you get one kill. That is the best possible outcome. There isn't anything better than that. Politis's best outcome, so if it's a DPS Politis, is she kills your entire team. If it's a tank Politis on, I don't know, Crown, is she stuns your entire team or even half of it. And she also limits how much CR push you get so that you are, not only are you punished for doing whatever you did, and possibly all of your buffs are stripped that you just put on, or possibly your push was negated, but she also can negate what you even did and do a bunch of debuffs or kill, and then she takes an extra turn to debuff again. So I feel like the reward you're getting is so unbelievably high compared to someone like Celine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. She
And that's
just
the
does way too
situation
much.
where a unit like Politis though has. It's because her kit just does so much.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, everything pretty much.
Mhm.
So that's what I kind of meant. Like, do you feel like that's why I kind of like reeling it back a little bit, like what I meant from the beginning. Like, do you feel like with certain characters, like you could tell when like a character has been like does a lot more compared to like everyone else at their level. So like, we were just talking about Charlotte, right? We're talking about other units that like the way that we phrased it, we always said it there like, oh well, like would you pick Charlotte or would you pick Carrot? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I don't know if like this trend of how they're releasing unit. I'm sure they don't intend the units to like be worse or like unusable or anything like that. I'm not saying that they are either,
Mhm.
but like I feel like there are a very select units where you're like you see like your Politis, you see your Carrot, you see like your FCCs, like units that are like just so like best in class for their niche, like FCCs, like great mitigator, right?
Mhm.
Crowd, great mitigator. And then let's say you try to, I don't know, use like another tank or like another DPS, or like you try to, let's say you use like Robbie, but like, you could have picked Carrot. I don't know. I was always concerned with like maybe like they put the bar too high, or like the standard is like, because like what happens if we compare like all these like the EEs and everything in the game if just like Carrot wasn't here, or like just if like Politis was in the game, like is Celine a bad cleave counter only because Politis is also in, or is she actually bad? You know what I mean? Like that's what I was
Mm.
trying to like
I
figure out.
I think the way that cleavers play almost naturally beats how Celine works most of the time.
Mhm.
With the
And
way, like, I mean,
yeah.
obviously, it's kind of like if there's a counter, right? Celine was made as a counter, sort of like for cleaving in specific cases, right? That was when she was first released. It was a very strong unit to pick as like a force ban,
Mhm.
but I like obviously just one unit, doesn't, especially when there's only one specialized unit in that field, it doesn't make them like that strong yet for that. But Politis is like obviously with a more overloaded kit, but now you also have 2 extra units to pick. In that situation, I mean, part of what you said, I think it also kind of adds up to being Politis just being stronger than Celine in that field, and
Yeah.
like they can't always release like a weaker unit kind of thing, right? I don't know how they would release like a
llynav.
weaker situation of Celine. Who just said llynav?
Oh, I just said
Hey,
llynav.
what? Huh?
A
What
weak
the?
unit? They've
All
been
right,
releasing weaker
dude.
units all the time, dude.
Um,
I mean, characters are going to be like strong and weak. Like that's just how it is, right? Not
mhm.
all characters are going to be balanced. So I think it's like fine
Yeah,
as long as each character has like a way so they could be used.
yeah, yeah. That's kind
That's
of
true.
fair.
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, you're kind of right about that. We talk about that more if we have time for that one. It's
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely something we could go over more. Well, before that, let's go over Inferno Khawazu. New units.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Are you gonna give your thought first, or do you wanna?
You guys go for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he seems really fun. Like, I don't know, because AOE is kind of what you want right now. So let's go over first of all, like I guess what he would be good against, or he's bad against Landy, he's bad against Carrot, he's bad against Spectre Tenebria. I feel like that already kind of invalidates him in the current meta, right?
Yeah, it definitely makes it a lot tougher to run just because he has no reach, right? Like out the
But
gate, it's already looking a little bit
yeah,
scary.
Mm.
but he seems really fun. If your opponent is using like if you I don't know, draft in a way where your opponent doesn't want to pick them as much or something like that, and you go against somebody, you draft Inferno Khawazu, it feels like he can basically kill just almost anything. Like I think he can one shot any bruiser in the game basically. And as for tanks, he just hits them really, really hard. So I don't
Right?
know.
But part
Mm.
of it is like, I do hear through the grapevine, right? If the Kara nerf does come, burn detonate scaling is going to get nerfed. I don't know if that's going to be Kara specific or if it's it's going to cover all burn detonates. That might be kind of scary for the boy himself.
That seems kind of comical that they would nerf all burn detonates just because of Carrot, rather than just nerfing Carrot if they decide to do that.
Yo,
I don't
Armin, the shrimp's in tears, bro. Oh my god.
I don't even know if Carrot should be nerfed either way, but
That's fair. We can actually talk about that. Hopefully, also we see if we touch upon that. I don't know. When I saw his skills, I thought he was really like okay. Honestly, I felt like he was like a really cool unit. Skills are cool. His skills actually didn't look bad either, mainly because of the fact that I guess the way his passive works. Like,
It looks really cool.
It felt really interesting. It's like it's not as long as he suffers an attack that's AoE, he instantly cleanses himself and then activates a skill kind of thing, right? Which I mean, that in itself is cool. Granted, it does have counters, and as we were talking about units, if this works the same way as Elena does, because this looks like it activates a skill possibly.
Right.
Yes, I believe it is a skill.
Then once again, obviously Politis comes into the realm of
Doom.
hello.
Cuts his CR push and punishes their whole team. That's
Let
cool.
me proceed to punish you.
Oh my god.
Or Celine, obviously, that kind of thing. But I mean, aside from that, right? Like his skills itself do look like he has some usage. Some people were suggesting maybe he might be able to possibly straight up one shot at Carrot. Sorry, not Carrot. T-Cern. Just straight up with the burns, right? Some people were saying, if you're able to land everything, you have enough damage. You do some damage, it pops the burns, she's dead, kind of thing, right? So it might be more like a specific situations you could use this character kind of thing.
Wait, am I misunderstanding something? Doesn't Khawazu like he hits and then he detonates, right? Because usually the hit will drop T-Cern below her threshold, and then she cleanses, and then before the detonate goes off, right?
No, so I'm pretty sure the way it should work is that so he dispels all buffs, then he inflicts 2 burns, and then he at the end of his turn it detonates. So T-Cern doesn't activate her passive until the end of a character's turn. So I'm pretty sure like Khawazu should activate the burns first, I feel like. But granted, we'll have to test that. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. I don't know the order of operations.
It depends on the
here,
order
but
it works, right?
Yeah, definitely.
One thing also is like, like LQC's S3 boom doesn't proc her passive because I think it does that technically after T-Cern checks her passive.
Yeah. So I'll have to see about that.
I don't know where he fits
in. Yeah, we'll have to see how the interaction works, because like we'll have to see how the interaction works and to see, because if it works, then you can one-shot T-Cern. If not, then go on someone else, I suppose, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think he just seems fun though, at least.
He definitely does. Downside
he looks
is
cool for sure. Yeah.
For the people who don't have Ruel, congrats, you can feel free and pull, and hopefully you get him before Ruel. Unfortunately, I have Ruel, so I can't even pull for him because I don't want the dupe Ruel.
Yeah, same. My role's triple S, so being like 100% hero collection club, I'm debating if I like break that, just to like, like to not spend resources to potentially hit a Ruel.
It's not worth it.
Don't worry, Ruel-less guys. Ruel-less club, rise up. I'll be pulling on Rose banner. Let's go, baby. Yeah, woo! No Ruel. Hey,
who did you pick for your blessing?
I picked Judge Kisei. I've
What
never
the
had
hell?
Jugs. Wait, what do you mean? I had RB, I have S10A, I have Decorv, and then I had a choice between.
And you picked that?
Oh, you wanted me to pick Ruel? Ruel was getting a banner. I feel like that's like man, you're never gonna get Judge Kisei. Like, okay, ML Keck W, dude. Like, and then those are my only choices.
All right. I chose Judge Kisei, but I had nothing else. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Were people saying? I see some people saying in chat that Carrot doesn't. T-Cern cleanses before Carrot. Which detonate are you talking about? Is it the one where Carrot goes skill 3 soul burn into S1? Is that what you guys are talking about in chat?
In general, I think if you have burns on the T-Surin and Carrot pops S1, if it drops her below 70%, she'll actually cleanse the burns and the detonate doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Does Carrot burn with S1?
No.
So then how would it
So,
detonate?
because
then
the thing
S-
is like so
What-
so that's what I'm wondering if what Chad is saying, right? I'm just wondering with that, if you S3, right, the soul burn into an extra turn, that counts as like an extra turn for T-Surin to proc her passive, right?
Oh, so
Mhm.
I don't think that's what they're talking about. So basically, if you, let's say you have an FCC shield on T-Surin, right? If you S3 like Soulburn S3 with Carrot, the T-Surin, and then S1, but you haven't gotten her to the threshold, 70%, right? Or like, or no, like you didn't get her to the threshold with the S3, but you did with the S1. She cleanses the burns because the burns, it says specifically like at the end of the turn, I believe.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it doesn't actually work. I'm fairly sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting then. Okay, we'll have to see what happens there then with that when he comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens there with that. Okay, that's interesting. Sorry, I'm not a sorry. I'm.
No, don't worry about it.
You know I'm not a carrot abuser because I have no clue how her skill fully works in that aspect. I haven't.
Well, apparently you're not very good versus her either because you don't know how she works.
Whoa, no, bruh. Because I don't use T-Serum, bro. I don't have anything she can
Same.
cleanse. Wait a minute. Did you just roast me about what the? That says the person who lost in the E7 Invitational thing first.
Hey, at least I was there, okay?
Wait.
Oh, man. Wait, he was too. What do
Yeah,
you
I
mean?
know, but at least I got there, okay, dude? Think about
Whoa.
everybody who
Yeah,
didn't.
see, getting there is a different story. You know, dude, you could have brought home the win. I'm just kidding. It's okay.
I could have. I know.
Dude, first round.
Oh,
All right.
Hey, I banned the G perk for you. I took the sacrifice.
I just want to shout you out for giving me a really good case to always just advertise the fact that for stuff like DJ Bazaar and cleansers, you run immunity, guys.
Ooh.
And this is not to roast you, no. Like I actually
No,
mean it.
dude.
Like,
Trying
this
to
is a very
run
famous example.
really high ER with immunity is so ass, dude.
Yeah.
You
It's
need
hard.
some like insane gear.
It's I feel like okay, the one thing okay, this is totally off topic, but I feel like immunity, even on soul weavers with high res or whatnot, like having immunity in a first turn is so useful because there's so many characters, or there's a good amount of characters that go first with a soul burn ignore effect resist skill. And regardless of whether or not you have resist in that situation, you're just screwed. So
Yeah, the immunity, because usually people have to strip the immunities, right? The immunity, I've done the math. It's actually worth more than 20 res. If you consider the fact that it gives you another 15%, it's worth like 29 res or something like that.
Oh, I mean, it's worth more, but here's the one issue: is then you have to have really high res immunity gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is
I roll a lot of dog shit gear like that. It just happens to work out in my favor.
well, one of the sad points about this, though, like we talked about this in the past with my chat, is unfortunately, effect resist just has a lot less. Like it has a lot less. It holds a lot less value than effectiveness when you compare them. Unfortunately,
Yeah, especially for RTA where you get free effectiveness over time.
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know, it's just really hard to like run high effect resist and not get punished for it later on in the game if you're if it's drawn out, unfortunately.
Effect resist is just it's like the worst stat in the game. Like it literally is, because effectiveness so you need 100% effect resist, something you have to actually build to not be able to get debuffed by somebody with 0% effectiveness, with 0 investment. And that's kind of ridiculous. Like there's just an inherent like issue with the fact that it's literally just that much better, and it's just terrible. It's a horrible stat,
right? As an ER player, in order to make use of effectiveness, you actually need to use a turn, right? Which is an opportunity cost. But in order to make use of ER, you actually do nothing at all. So I actually think the 100% gap, or rather in this case, the 85% gap, is actually justified, because ER is like you don't do anything and there's value inherently.
I just feel like it's like kind of crazy that like I don't know, like I'm sure you guys see it all the time. Like I've seen like friends play and they'll climb and stuff, and then they'll have like they'll have the holy trinity of ER. They have like their soul weavers, their knights, their like like ML Keckwicks, their maid Chloe's, like whatever, and then you see like a unit with curse compass or like 250 effectiveness, and you're like, guess all my building is gone and gone away with. Like there are like players I know who have like near 300 effectiveness, like F10As, and I'm like,
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
done. Like that's
Wait,
it. Like
let's be real though. Effect resist is the usual stat, except for Fairy Tale Tenebria ruins the entire game. So that's kind of the issue there.
yeah,
right?
I guess that's true too. Yeah.
Cerise isn't running compass.
is very disgusting.
Yeah.
But
Seems
I
a
think it's
mistake.
like if we're looking at RT standpoint, like it's the frenzy ramp up that also makes it a lot worse later on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's a little unfortunate there. Oh, I saw someone asking in chat about something. So before we move on to kind of like open chat topic real quick, we're just gonna talk about how that Ruel skin though. And before that, I'm gonna show chat something. You guys talk about it first while I find this.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. They did a damn good job with it, I think, because Normal looks like some, like, I don't know, she's a screwed up alien. She looks awful.
What the?
Yeah, she looks a little too like like she looks a little bit out of it.
If I met that thing in a dark alley, I would get the hell out of there, dude. I'd be
What
like, what the
the?
hell is this creature? Dude, I'm gonna get
Okay,
like
buddy.
anally probed, dude. I'm getting out of there, dude.
Oh
That
my
thing's a
God.
monster.
For chat who hasn't
wait.
seen this yet.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Wait, Gabe, that is a cursed image, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
that's a
my
good
Here you
god.
guys go, chat. Yeah, we found out who Ruel was stylized afterwards. We found the motivation for the Ruel skin.
Oh,
It really
my
is,
God.
dude.
Fizz was actually the princess all along. What can I say?
No, that's
That
ML
is
Ruel, dude.
what-
Okay, dude. ML Ruel. All right.
ML Ruel.
Get
That's a little
hype.
bit full circle right there, isn't it?
Well, Ruel's the original, you know?
Oh my god, that's cursed. Now I'm only gonna. Oh my god, every time I actually really like this skin, but now you actually can't unsee that. That is
Well,
like an
wait, but
actually.
is that the concept art thing, or is that actually what it's going to look like exactly, you know? Because they always show the concept art, right?
I think this could be pretty close, right? When they show the concept art, it's going to
Uh-huh.
be pretty close and similar already.
Yeah.
Alright.
Probably. At least close, like very close.
Yeah.
Mm.
So open chat. Let's go back and talk about those few things, right? We want to talk about Politis. We want to talk about we talk a little bit more about the effect resist stuff if you guys don't want. What else do we have?
Anything really? Anything that's
carrot
interesting?
nerfs.
happening?
Carrot nerfs.
Oh right, carrot. Yeah. So we can talk about the carrot part first.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first of all,
If-
question for all of you before anything else: do you guys feel like carrot should get nerfed? Yes, no.
100%.
Probably, yeah. I think, everybody just does whatever they see other players do, right? Like the high up players. And, everyone's spam drafting Crow and Carrot in every game. So everybody does that in the entire game. Every game you ever play, you already know half of your opponent's draft, right? And I think even if she wasn't broken or she was weak, I would want her nerfed just because she makes the game worse. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
So-
kind of locks in a lot of heroes, right? Like now, Blue Crow is like he's basically you have to get him. If you don't, like what do you do?
You have
right?
a hard match.
Yeah.
Okay, I may be like the odd one out here because like I definitely like I built my carrot and I don't think she's like the worst. Like I have her like a little. I think I have her a little bit like too high attack. She has like less of the defensives and more of the offensives.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, and like I think someone said it in chat, like she gets like kind of spanked a little bit by ER. Like I don't think it's very and again, like maybe I don't know if a lot of people really build effectiveness on her, but I know that there are people that like I know I've tried to bring like carrot into like, or I've like picked Carrot, and then like like a maid Chloe will come up, or like a unit that has ER comes up, and I'm sitting there like, I thought that it was like you pick Carrot and you win like the match, but I think like there was a period like when people were like, dude, this shit is like broken. Like first week, like I immediately built her. I stole like one win, and then every other match like was like made Chloe, and who's the other unit that gives team wide ER? Is it Trizette?
I
think
don't
Fallen
think so, but just
Cecilia
any
gives-
Shimadras.
What?
There's like
It-
another unit that I know that gives like team wide ER or something. Oh, it
On
might
the-
be.
You mean
On
like a
the
llynav?
imprints? Or do you mean like as a buff?
No,
Yeah,
as like an S2 passive or something. I thought that there was maybe I'm just thinking of Maid. But like I remember trying to like AoE like as Carrot, like with
Mhm.
attack buff into a team, just landed no debuffs. And I'm just like can't
Well-
use the burn passive if none of them land, you know what I mean? So I mean
Well, the thing is, Carrot isn't like invincible. She actually does have. There's a decent amount of characters that are pretty good against her. So, Kisei is actually really good against her. Resets her and does a crap load of damage. And also, Operator Cigarette is incredibly good against her. She has characters that demolish her, right, and can just take her out of the fight basically completely. But and people don't have them built a lot of the time, or not owning Operator Cigarette, that is pretty likely, right?
mhm.
But she has things that can be like Blue Crow is good against her, right? But it's not like Blue Crow hard counters her and it's like, oh, Carrot doesn't do anything. It's like you lose half your team and then Blue Crow kills the Carrot, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like those are way better counters, but it's way more difficult to set up and usually you need much better gear on your Kisei to deal with a shitty Carrot, right?
Yeah, I
you
agree
need
with that.
really
So-
good gear, and then like you need them to not have an initiator that's faster than your Kisei, and then sometimes you even need a gab, right? Depending on whether or not they have mitigators.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there are things you can kind of do against her, and also another way of punishing her, it's a really aggro meta right now, is you just kill her entire team, and then you go for her last.
A little
You
surprised
say
for the
that, but
people
I
in
mean,
chat
it's
who
not
aren't
like-
voting yet. I want to see you guys vote. Right now, it's actually 26 votes to no and 19 votes to yes. So I'm kind of curious. Like, is this actually like? I mean, there is a good amount of you guys in chat. I want. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. That's instantly. Holy, that's a lot of votes. Woo!
Wait, holy.
Wait, it's still 50-50 though. There's
Yeah.
57 to no. Oh, never mind. 64 to no. 49 to
Oh.
yes.
You think no, huh?
I'm actually so here's the thing about this. I do think she should get nerfed also, but I don't think her nerf needs to be huge or anything.
Yeah.
I think the biggest
Yeah,
thing right now for me,
yeah.
the reason why I feel like she should be nerfed is because her counters are very specific. Her counters are not easily accessible for a lot of people. If it's not her counters, then you need very good gear on the rest of your team. So the only thing I feel like she needs to be nerfed is either A, her self-sustain, which is either like a heal or the way her shield works, or they reduce her threat value from her passive. Right now, her passive, every time you hit her, you take a burn. Right?
Yeah, the
And-
1v4
Yeah.
potential is always there.
So, like, it's a very specific situation. I feel like, oh, that's actually still really surprising, though. For the people in chat, 92 people say no, 62 say yes. So it's actually, it's still a big, wow. There's actually still a very big portion that say no. Anyways.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, for instance, her passive does a million things, right?
Mhm.
And fun fact, she can't even be Archdemon Mercedes sealed because she cleanses it because that's a rune. That's not actually her passive. So
Yeah, that's a little
that's
bit
really
ridiculous.
fair. That's not a passive, guys. That's
Oh
a
my
rune.
God.
So that doesn't even work, right? Which is ridiculous. And she also has the damage reduction. So one-shotting her is nearly impossible if it's a really tanky one, actually.
Mhm.
She has incredibly low cooldown. She basically has everything put in place. But here's the issue that I mostly have with her is that I think she's a very unfun character to play against. And even if they introduce counters to that type of character, I think we'll still be feeling the echoes of Carrot in the future, right? Like,
Mhm.
Arbiter Vildred has counters, SSB has counters, but you still see those characters and they're still strong when they're picked correctly, right?
Mhm.
So I just don't want Carrot, like, I want her to be nerfed because I don't think she's a fun character at all to play against. And even if they introduce ways to deal with her, I think we're still going to see Kara in the future, and it's gonna be no fun.
Yeah, the thing with her power level is that right now she's so strong. She's somebody you pick because you have to, not because you want to play her or like, it's like you're like you said with Arbiter, right? With where Arbiter's at, if you pick Arbiter right now, you're making a choice to choose to play Arbiter. But with Carrot, the way she is, you pick her basically just because you have to, and there's nothing that can really deal with her on like a one-to-one basis.
I feel like one of the things for me is like, I feel like personally, Carrot's skill kit is really overtuned, like overloaded. She does too much. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a strong character as a 3-star, but I think she does way too much that it's nice to have that, but without a good way for people to counter her, or she ends up being a unit that you're kind of like low levels especially will be forced. I'm not gonna lie, like if a newer player sees her and someone has one built, that one carrot is either force ban or it's gonna roll over a new player kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Only the people 100%. Who are like higher up there, I mean, even the people higher up there might still have struggled depending on what the draft is. Granted, that's based off more on draft and whatnot at that point, which is a little bit different.
I actually had a couple matches where, so I don't use Politis, right? But I was using Flan, and I was like, oh god, what do I use my last units? They picked Selene, right? So I just picked Carrot, because Selene can't one-shot Carrot, even if she hits, and Carrot's just going to wipe his entire team. And it did. It literally worked multiple times in a row. Like, Selene is a worthless pick, I feel like, and Carrot just kills his entire team, gets attack buff, and yeah.
True.
I don't know, man.
Actually, speaking of that, there is a really good kind of thing, I guess, a way some people think about this, unfortunately, is Lakari brought this up in the past too. I saw Dr. J&D mention this again, is sometimes when you're balancing a character, you can't really look at her as just like a 3-star. Granted, even though we do look at a lot of characters like that.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at her as a 3-star, right, sometimes you kind of have to look at her as just a character, right? Compared to, as a character itself, like, where is this character standing in terms of value? Like, it shouldn't really matter whether or not she's a 3-star. Like, if there was a unit like Arbiter Vildred in the past of when he revived with, like, let's just say, new 3-star unit comes out, pretty much Arbiter Vildred revives with greater attack buff, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit painful, and it's kind of like a situation like that, like, regardless of what star he is, if a unit's overtuned, then obviously we want the characters to be balanced for like a healthier environment for the game itself.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
things need to be accessible to new. Oh, sorry. Well, you can go if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, characters need to be accessible to some extent. You don't want every single strong character to be an ML5, but it doesn't matter if that character's a 1-star or 2-star. It doesn't matter if Adventure Ross S3'd and AoE extincted everybody. It doesn't matter that everybody starts with Ross.
Yeah.
Like, it matters that the game sucks now. So it doesn't. Yeah, I remember I was actually I think I was watching the cards or something when he was talking about that. Like, it doesn't matter at all that she's a 3-star and that everybody's allowed to get her. A character being free doesn't mean that they should be broken or strong or anything, really. It's just now, in fact, I would almost argue that her being more easily accessible is worse, because now you see her in literally every game. There is no exception. There's nobody has to decide, oh, should I roll for this character or not? Everybody just has Carrot. I mean, okay, some people actually trashed their Carrots and were like rolling on Covenant to try and get Carrot. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, she's in every single match without exception. The moment you look at your opponent and you see they have first pick, they're going to pick Blue Crow or Carrot in every single match. And you already know half your opponent's draft. They're going to pick Fairy Tale Tenebria or Basar. They're going to pick the same things as every other person, because there's basically no shift in the meta. And if you're not picking Carrot, they're picking Carrot, and you feel trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Valk, you want to say something?
I think that's just a sign for like her being, really overtuned, and her power level being like above, the norm.
I think like one good way to put it is a unit that came out with a specially changed that I honestly I think is just a really good unit overall is like Adventure at Raz. Like, I feel like he's not crazy strong, he's not weak to the point where people will not use him. He's in a good spot. And I feel like Carrot should be in the same, like she should be tuned to the same situation where she's not going to be oppressive, but she'll be good enough to a point where you can still take her in, you know, a good amount of situations. Would you say her power level is over 9,000? Close. Unfortunately, not there yet.
Well, I'll definitely say that's very difficult, balancing a character to that degree, right?
It definitely is.
I would say
it's definitely not easy. I mean,
Ross is he's almost like a perfect character, right? Because like he never feels insanely oppressive. He feels very balanced and grounded. He has his strengths and weaknesses, and he's never like just doing something insane that and you know what you're getting into exactly every time you fight him. And there's no RNG BS with him. There's no he's not doing anything super insane every single turn either.
Sedge says, what about just take off the cleanse from her skills? I mean, there's a lot of things, right? I feel like there's a lot of things that could work. Taking off the cleanse, right? So she's not mini a Tywin. Removing the heal so she doesn't have that healing passive. Changing the burn ticks that you get on your characters when you hit her, so you know it activates on once per her turn kind of thing, right? I feel like there's a lot of small things. It just depends on, you know, what they decide. That kind of thing. Like there's definitely a lot. And good comparison was Falcon or Cleary. I mean, like, to be fair, Falcon or Cleary, for the people who are newer to the game that don't know, Falcon or Cleary initially, before she was nerfed, yes, this unit was nerfed, is somehow she used to gain 100% combat rate. Like she was able to just gain another turn. She had a chance of gaining another turn in the past. She had a built-in RNL. It was disgusting. And even after the nerf, she's still, till this day, she's still like a good unit. And I feel like it's the same thing, right? Like, I mean, it's fine. Right now, Carrot's going to be strong, right? We know that she gets some sort of like slight nerf. Might be in a good spot then. Right? Like, yeah. Definitely.
So then, do you feel like all the specialty change characters then should, like, or all the 3 stars, or I mean, I guess we should, since they're all specialty changes, like, do you feel like all of them should be at the same tier as a Roz then? Or like
I don't think
it
they
doesn't
have
feel
to
like
be.
Muse
No.
Rima was
No, they should be usable in any situation.
Sorry,
they should be
who?
usable at all.
I've never seen that character in my life. Who? Rima? Wait, who is that?
Muse, what?
Who? I swear, I heard about the specialty change. You know, I woke up, I heard about it. I saw a post about that specialty change. Never saw that unit once in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
They need to not make trash. That's the thing, right? Like it doesn't have, this unit doesn't have to be insane, but I think anyone who has played the game at all for any remote amount of time can look at them and in like a couple seconds be like, this is garbage. This is completely worthless. There is nothing you can ever do with this character.
I feel like there should be a obviously there could be some sort of standard. I don't expect every specialty change to be as good as Araz, Falcon, or Cleary, but I feel like there's a good amount of them that could be buffed actually slightly. But
yeah, definitely.
That's Axe God.
That's like
not
more, you know, more stuff, you know, aside from that. That goes further down along like balancing and like a bunch of issues I feel like they kind of have with balancing and stuff like that they could do better.
I will
Joke
say,
says, do you guys think it's impossible for full free-to-play players to get into the high level Arte with all the heroes and gear they need at this point? No.
It's actually pretty doable, right? There's a few like high-end players that are either free-to-play or like monthly pack players.
Yeah, so obviously, I'll be honest, obviously it's not just an easy cakewalk. A, it requires good dedication. 2, it does take time, right? You're not just going to start the game and within like a week be like, boom, I'm god level, you know, that kind of thing. You're not going to do that.
I always say this game is a marathon, not a sprint, and too many players treat it as though it is a sprint, and they think that they should be strong earlier on, and then they blame all their problems on not swiping. They believe that the only reason that they're not strong is swiping when they have poor resource management, don't spend enough time, and haven't played long enough.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And like the best example with sorry, I guess it's not the best example anymore. Sedge in chat used to be free to play. I believe he does buy like a few monthly packs now or something.
Whoa, monthly pack? That guy's a whale. He's
My
scum.
God.
That guy.
But he used to be full free to play. Granted, it does take a bit of luck. It also takes a lot of good resource management and that kind of stuff. Like, it's not easy. And there are a lot of people I do know that are very low spenders or free to play people who are competing at a decently high level.
I'm a low spender.
So.
But I suck, so I'm not a good. Like...
Shut up, Jenza. You're a whale.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of different examples. Like, another example I always use is like, even if someone whales super hard, let's say someone decides to drop 100k into the game, they could easily still not become that good at RTA. They could be stuck low rank because of their own dedication and time, right? And the best example for me, well, that I put it, is probably the fastest, like Lakari, you guys will see in chat.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he's a bit of a
actually.
newer player, right? Still at this point, and even though he did whale some, not even if other people spent the same amount as him, they're not gonna be there, right? Lakari like dedicated a lot of time and effort into the game, and
well, he also had a lot of help of people actually telling you like, oh, this is kind of how you should go about this. This is how you should spend this. So like, knowledge was important
about that part, right? Knowledge, you'll only get that if you seek it out. If someone doesn't seek out that knowledge, you're not gonna go anywhere, right? Lakari would actively seek out people. He would actively ask questions and be like, and like theory craft. It happened a lot, right? And it's just the same thing.
You have to want the help to get the help.
Yeah, right? If someone decides to play a game, you want to be a casual and you don't want to look for a lot of stuff like that. It's the same thing, right? You're not going to move much, you can't expect to go anywhere kind of thing, right?
People, and I've had people come into my chat, like this was like months ago when Lakari had recently started, right? And they would be like, yeah, you just caught it because he swiped or whatever. And it's like, if you say that, I now know you have no idea what you're talking about because just spending money on this game, you're gonna suck balls if you're a dumbass, right? Lakari had to put in, as you were saying, so much time. He had to seek out all his knowledge and make sure that he like understood a lot of different things. And he's also not a total dumbass, so he doesn't play like garbage nonstop, right? Like if you're a total idiot and you don't ever try to learn how to draft or like how to make a team comp, you're gonna int every match no matter how much money you spend. Like Jim, Brother Stone, who won the world championship, he spent an ungodly amount of money. But if he was just a total ape, he wouldn't win. He wouldn't get anywhere.
Groff, in the end, there is gear RNG involved, right? That's why, and that comes down to, in my opinion, resource management and stuff like that. There's only so much of RNG that kind of stops you, and I think that comes in the form of like speed. But aside from that, right, you can try to make do with a lot of stuff.
There are a lot of legend players that never speed contest. They would just turn 2 players.
Yeah. Dude, dude, Panshui. Lakari spends more than me, and he sucks. All right, Panshui. Look at this guy. Damn. Yeah. All right.
Lakari spends more than almost anybody here, really.
What the?
But that's how he catches up.
Dude, that's a lie. Dude.
I mean,
honestly,
it's just the spending is basically to mitigate the times that he's not playing the game, right? At the end of the day, it's still going to, like somebody in the chat mentioned, right? Gear RNG definitely matters, but also like if you spend a lot of money, you're eventually going to roll like a piece of banger. You're gonna penta roll in some stat, and even if it's like not penta roll speed, like if you hit a penta roll res like I do, just play hard turn 2, play Soul Weavers. There's always a way that you can find.
Well, then Fairy Tale Tenebria comes around with Compass and like.
I think, well, here's an old example for the people. Yeah, I'll probably see some Sages, but for example, right, Code. Code is a player who barely had any sort of speed gear, but he was still able to maintain a high rank in RTA, and in my opinion, he could have maintained a high rank in RTA if he didn't get burnt out / unfortunately, of the game. Like, because of his playstyle and whatnot, obviously games would take
He ruined all of RTA, dude, for a whole season.
Yeah, dude, single-handedly, he set this. He kind of set the meta for one season. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
one
he
season,
ruined the whole meta.
that first season, yikes. Damn,
And then he left.
He came in like
ruined
a
it
wrecking
and then
train.
dipped, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
went
no.
adios, dude.
But yeah, I mean, we still see Code around, but obviously Code is a Genshin gamer now. You know, he went from one game of content to another game with no content. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny. Well, it's funny because this game is usually where all the Genshin refugees come, right? Like all of them are like battered and abused by Genshin, right? And then they come to E7, but he did the opposite.
Yeah.
He's built different. He's built different.
Yo, before we drop that talk about RTA though, like
Hmm.
no joke, like I know we were like emphasizing a lot about like the like we're talking about the spending and the knowledge. Like I'm not saying that we didn't emphasize it, but guys, like you need to play a lot of goddamn games to get into high level RTA. Like I don't know if you guys like check the legend ladder. Like, dude, I play like okay, obviously I'm not like linear or like vertically climbing like 60 games worth, but I play like 60 to 70 games for RTA a day. Dude,
Oh, really?
if you like don't play for like 3 or 4 days, you're dropping like 500 points at like higher level RTA. Or
Well,
like 3 or 500 ranks, I should say.
Everyone should keep in mind though that you don't have the knowledge or the money. So
Wait.
Oh,
Dude, that comment in chat,
no.
Nella Lumina says you are a Mort player, Cannaaa. Of course you don't climb.
Oh my god.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I can't disagree with that. I'm just kidding.
Nella savage.
One day you'll make Mort work. I believe.
someday.
Lakari, I've tried, man. I've tried
Mort is based.
max HP C damage. I've tried him as a crit opener for my CDOM, man. I saw only one. I've only ever seen two, like literally two Morts ever win in my entire life. And those people were playing against people that they so significantly like gear gapped.
Oh yeah, dude. You go to
And
like
it was
bronze.
close. Yeah, I saw like I watched like if you guys know like Hala from like Abandon and then like Aether Bulge. Those are literally the only two Mort players I've ever seen win with that character before.
The beginning of the season, actually, of the preseason, Kenny was spamming Mort to try and get as low as possible in bronze, and I saw a few wins there.
Oh no.
Dude, imagine this. You def break a whole. Oh, my lights turned off. But
whoa, he's gone.
I have a clip on thing.
Oh, he's gone. He's
whatever.
gone. GG.
All right. I'm just like Jenna for a second. All right. So if you imagine you put a C damage buff, you have Death Break, right? And you at Mort S3 with like 20k HP and 350 C damage. I want you to take a guess how much it does to a squishy team.
It's so insanely low.
Does it not even kill?
It doesn't. I didn't kill. Oh, what was her name? I didn't kill Celine. I didn't kill. Who was it? It was another squid. I don't think I killed the Landy, but I mean, I didn't look at how much HP she had. But like both of those, man, it's like, are you kidding? Like a deaf broken Landy and a deaf broken Celine, and you can't kill with the Mort S3 with C damage buff, max HP, and death break.
Okay. Here's a question. Now with the EE, with the S3 damage, does that kill? I feel like that should probably give you an angle to kill.
Maybe.
Maybe, right?
Maybe.
Maybe if you significantly gear gap them, you know.
Okay, wait. So I
true.
compared the damage between llynav and Mort, right? Because they're both health scaling. I was like, sure, let's see.
Yeah.
Mort's S3 does like 50% less damage than Ilyanov's or some shit. Or no, the other way around. Like Ilyanov's does 50% more than his. Like with the same numbers, he would be doing like 4,000. She was doing like 6,000.
Oh no.
Like,
thank God.
what the hell is that?
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God we don't have the injury overlords in this game, man.
Yeah, you know, there's always this misconception too. People are like, "Oh, thankfully we won't see soul or like the tanks are going to be beaten once injury comes in," is what people would say. And it's like, no, that's like the last round crowd's not healing himself, dude. Like during the Golden Boy meta, everyone was like, "Yeah, they need to make Mort good. He's going to be so good." But it's like it doesn't help at all, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's balance in this game is there's a lot that can be done about that. I feel that's a totally different talk. That would take like that would be like a many segment of like podcasts.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Aside from that, I think we went overtime what I expected, but it was it was
sorry.
good. We were having no worries. I don't really mind. I just don't, in case anyone's busy or anything. I usually try to keep it within time. But yeah, aside from that, like we definitely had a lot of good talks here. Hopefully I get you guys all back on.
Yeah,
Hey,
in
for
like
sure.
thanks so much for inviting.
a few
Yeah, it's been a
podcasts.
pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Aside from that, I'll have you guys just same way plug give your exits and whatnot, starting with Valk, Jenna, and then Cannaaa. Plug wherever you want. Go for it.
Yeah, guys, I just stream like pretty much every day around like after dinner time for Pacific. So if you guys are around, I'm making a lot of like account analysis and like helpful content. So if you're guys in the mood for that, come check us out.
Hey, I'm Jenazadp, and I stream, under the same Twitch name, right? And I stream like 11 hours a day, so you'll probably see me on at some point. In fact, I'd be surprised if you hadn't at some point already. But come hang out if you'd like. I just like to talk a lot. I don't know. I just like to hang out and chat and stuff. So play a lot of RTA and mauled at it sometimes, and yeah, come by if you have a chance.
And
Thank you.
yeah, guys, my name's Connor. Once again, unlike these two guys, I don't really do much helpful stuff except for gearing like low-level Wyvern teams for some people. But I'm pretty sure the order is I stream in the morning, then Jenna gets in the afternoon, and then Val gets the night. In that exact order. But I do
Jenna
RTA
also
as
gets the
well.
DJ hours.
No, I'm
after
also
that.
the
Yeah,
knight.
yeah. But I basically RTA as well. Pray to God it doesn't include Mort and Smallgate. You saw this, all right? I'm sure one of you community managers is in here. Please, this is not. Give Mort a little something
Nah, he's
else.
gone.
And,
This is a
Yeah,
cry for
the,
help.
the
he's
boy needs a
doomed.
little more.
Doomed.
That EE was a cry for help.
Oh my
That was a
God.
cry for
True.
help. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for joining the podcast tonight, guys. And that'll be it for us tonight. Peace.
Hey,
Thanks a
for sure.
bunch. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Good night,
you too,
guys.
guys. See ya.